Despite having Tamil-speaking parents, I can't speak a word of Tamil. And whenever I would complain about it to my father, who's sitting over there, he would always tell me to do what his friends' children do, which is to watch more Tamil films. So there must be some sort of relationship between watching something and learning a language. But if I were more motivated to watch these Tamil films, could I perhaps learn more vocabulary from these films? Good evening, everyone. My name is Arathi, and today I'm happy to share with you my final year project on the role of motivation in incidental vocabulary learning through academic videos. So I will be bringing you through the background of the study, through the methodology, and then finally concluding with the results and discussion of the study. Research has found that Malaysian tertiary students do not possess the adequate vocabulary size for comprehension of academic texts. Thus, vocabulary knowledge is necessary. However, intentional vocabulary learning cannot be the only method to teach vocabulary because of the substantial amount of vocab necessary for language use. Thus, audiovisual material has been shown to be a rich source to teach incidental vocabulary learning. But what is that? So, incidental vocabulary learning is the absence of a conscious intention to commit a word to memory. It is learning words while focusing on doing something else, such as watching a video. And previous studies have shown a significant vocabulary gain after watching videos. But most of these studies had focused on audiovisual material purposed for entertainment rather than material used for teaching. Academic videos can be defined as instructional material used to support teaching of main content. And recent years has found that academic videos has increased in teaching. Thus, it is worth exploring if incidental vocabulary learning occurs as students watch these academic videos. Furthermore, it has also been found that students are more motivated to understand content when videos are used in teaching. Research also indicates that vocabulary gains varies according to student motivation level, where students with a high intrinsic rather than extrinsic motivation would learn more vocabulary. There have been limited studies, however, exploring this relationship between incidental vocabulary learning and motivation. In one study found there was no relationship between the two. It could be implied that as the study used reading as the task for incidental vocabulary learning, it had not incited enough motivation from students compared to watching videos. Thus, this study aims to bridge this gap by focusing on the relationship between students' intrinsic motivation to watch videos and vocabulary gains through the following questions. The first research question being, to what extent does watching academic videos enable incidental vocabulary learning? And the second research question being, what is the relationship between intrinsic motivation to watch videos and incidental vocabulary learning through watching academic videos? This study employed a quantitative repeated measures design with a pre- and post-test to answer the first research question and a quantitative motivation questionnaire to answer the second research question. 56 ESL students, foundation students, had participated in the study, and the study used a 10-minute crash course video related to the participants' core module. 20 target words from this video was selected for the study. As most university students would have already mastered the 2K word frequency level, target words were chosen from the 4K to the 13K word frequency level, equally distributed. There was also an equal distribution of nouns, verbs, and adjectives. 20 of the target words were selected in the pretest. and were designed according to the vocabulary size test format by Bagler and Nation 2007. There were also 60 vocabulary size test items to function as distractors. The post-test just had the 20 target words. To measure intrinsic motivation to watch videos, we had used an intrinsic motivation to read questionnaire and had adapted it to watching videos as opposed to reading, and adapted it for university students as opposed to elementary students. We had also only selected the intrinsic motivation construct questions. So there was a total of 15 items. This study carried over 2 weeks across 2 sessions during regular teaching hours across a core module. Students first completed the pretest, watched the video, and then completed the post-test. To prevent participant fatigue, the students would complete the motivation questionnaire in the second session. Moving on to our results. So as mentioned, we would complete the pretest, watch the video, and then complete the post-test. And we had found that participant vocabulary scores had improved on average by 3.9% after watching the video. We had also administered a paired samples t-test with a significant difference found of negative 3.93 and a p-value of 0.0002. Thus, this indicates that incidental vocabulary learning does occur while watching videos. This box plot indicates that the mean value of words known had increased from 15 to 16 words after watching the video. For the second research question, we had conducted a motivation questionnaire, and it was found that the mean score for all 3 constructs was above 3, indicating high motivation to watch videos from the participants. A correlation analysis between target word scores and motivation scores had indicated an R value of negative 0.22 with a p-value of 0.88, thus indicating no relationship between intrinsic motivation to watch videos and incidental vocabulary learning from watching the academic video. While 3.9% might seem like a small gain in vocabulary, it's really encouraging, as previous studies that had a 14 to 19% gain used 60-minute videos, while ours had only a 10-minute video. Also, this study presents new findings as it had used an academic video. Thus, with the increased prevalence of flipped classrooms and blended learnings, these findings indicate that academic videos can be used to help increase students' vocabulary. Additionally, previous studies had explored that frequency of occurrence also aids in vocabulary gains. This study had only 4 out of 20 target words that had occurred more than once in the video, compared to other studies that had an occurrence of words from 1 to 5 times. Therefore, in an authentic setting like a flipped classroom, where students would encounter words more than once through activities, this could increase learning of particular keywords incidentally. Similar to other studies, no relationship was found between motivation and incidental vocabulary learning. One possible explanation to this could be that perhaps watching videos being a receptive task, it is not as demanding as a productive task, and therefore motivation might not be so influential a variable compared to cognitive factors such as prior vocabulary knowledge. Another explanation behind this could be the absence of relationship could be that the study had not factored the dynamic, multidimensional nature of motivation, but had instead treated it as a static attribute with only one data type collected. Therefore, it is recommended for future studies to explore this dynamic, multidimensional nature of motivation, such as measuring participant motivation in different methods and also across different intervals of time. Due to the ceiling effect of 96% of participants answering 10 items or more correctly in the pretest, it is suggested that participants might have already known the target words. As previous studies have found low learning gains to be common when there is a small number of target items, it is recommended for future studies to include a high number of target items. Furthermore, as students had an initial large vocabulary size, future studies could explore gains from beginner or intermediate learners to discover different findings with learners of differing vocabulary sizes. In conclusion, academic videos have been proven to have significant vocabulary gains, and this was the first study to explore that. It is also the only study to explore the relationship between intrinsic motivation to watch video and incidental vocabulary gains from video. Further research is warranted to better understand this relationship, and some recommendations would be to increase the target items, to include learners that are beginner and intermediate level, and also to consider the dynamic, multidimensional nature of motivation. With that, I am happy to conclude this presentation, and I would like to open the floor to questions. Thank you.
Thank you to our presenter, Ms. Arathi Reddy.